Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe des E-Talk. Bei mir geht Schlag auf Schlag. Corvus Gold habe ich im November schon interviewt. Bei mir ist der Ryan hier. Er macht die IR-Agenten des Unternehmens und ich will jetzt einfach von ihm ein Update haben, was sich seit November getan hat. Ryan, thank you to have time. And I said in my German introduction, we have an interview in November. I think this was with Quentin.
Yes, with Quentin May, yeah.
What's happened since November? Now it's May.
Well, the exciting part was in November, we released our preliminary economic assessment, as Quentin went over, showed a project in a good jurisdiction, Nevada, probably the best jurisdiction in the world for a mining operation. We have 3.6 million ounces contained in our PEA. It shows a very low cash cost of under $600 an ounce for the first 4 years of production, $680 for life of mine, and it's a large-scale project averaging about 350,000 ounces per year production for the first 4 years. So this is a very attractive type of project, and just judging from the level of activity in and around our area, with Coeur Mining being a neighbor, as well as Anglogold Ashanti, one of our largest shareholders, being in the area as well, it shows that there's a lot of attention for this part of Nevada. Now, in December, Anglogold Ashanti put in another $2 million to up their position to 19.9%. That's showing that their commitment with us, as well as in the area where they've spent millions of dollars in drilling right now. And in February, what's interesting is their CEO, Kelvin Dishnisky, was on Bloomberg TV talking about how Nevada, and this area in particular, is their future potential operations in North America. They do not have operations in North America after they exited with their sale of Cripple Creek back a few years ago. So it's very interesting to see that Kelvin, who's formerly of Barrick, and Barrick, of course, is big in Nevada, has publicly stated that this area and their interest in 19.9% in Corvus Gold is a potential future expansion for their operations. So
that sounds really that they have a foot in the door and maybe once more.
Potentially, yes. And with their commitment of another $2 million in December, it does show that they are doing what they say they are doing, which is making sure that this area gets enough work and attention to potentially have a new mining operation in the future. So since then, we've also announced some of our best drill results to date in December, as well as in most recently April, some of the best results to date. Almost 120 meters of almost 2 grams, which is great results anywhere in the world, let alone in Nevada. And that was reported from our Mother Lode project. So
I forget the name. Yeah. When the material starting this from the surface, or how deep is the?
It's relatively shallow. It's still within open pit depth.
Okay.
So some of these results you can have anywhere in the world, but let alone being in Nevada, this makes it a very attractive type of deposit, being close to surface and open pitable operations. So that's what's happened on the operational front. Drilling is still showing that this project is continuing to expand. And we've also now stepped over to our other neighboring project called North Bullfrog, where we're doing more exploration drilling. And that exploration drilling is ongoing. And the reason why we stepped over to North Bullfrog is because now we have more information on where to look at. Just given the recent discoveries from Anglogold to the north of us, as well as information that we've received from our own drilling at Mother Lode. It makes us step back and look at the information that we have from North Bullfrog and think maybe we've missed something there.
When we can expect some results from the drilling?
Well, there's still results pending from Mother Lode.
Okay.
And for North Bullfrog, we expect sometime in the summertime to start getting some results there. So still lots of news to come. And also on the corporate front, I wanted to add that in March, we have a new chairman come on board, Ron Largent, who was ex-Anglogold COO International. So he brings a lot of experience from the operational front and especially from the mining side of things. Very, very good addition to the Corvus management team, Ron Largent. So That's been a very good key driver in potentially opening up more avenues for us to talking with other operational companies, because from our standpoint, we're more of a exploration mindset, but Ron Largent brings that one key missing ingredient is what do the operational guys, like the actual miners, what do they look at in terms of what a mining project should look like.
So that's mean that with his approach, you develop more data that maybe the development guys are more proud of it.
What they're looking for.
What they're looking for.
Yes.
That then in the end, so from that what I know is that the end goal is that somebody comes and buy the
yes,
project.
yeah. We're not, in the end, we are not the miners. Our expertise is exploration still, even though we brought on operational guy. We feel that the best value creation for our shareholders, and we're shareholders ourselves, having the entire management team and employees. We own about 7% of the company, which we purchased in either financings or open market transactions. The best value creation for a junior would be for, say, M&A transaction.
That's normally when you look at the curve where you create valuation is when you develop something or you find something, exploration something, and the development itself is boring.
That's right. That's right. There could be a number of years where nothing really happens. You're just doing studies and just waiting for...
And spend a lot of money for starting
money.
And develop then and permitting this all this stuff.
Yes,
it takes a long time.
And for juniors, that's not really value creation because for us, we feel value creation would be finding gold where it was not there before.
Yeah.
Or, of course, an M&A transaction.
A tough question. When you think it's the best time that for the developers outside to buy your project or a company?
Well, for every company, it's different. It could be because, say, their own internal development team is now free from whatever project that they were working on, and then suddenly they need something to do. So it's like, okay, now it's time to make an accretive acquisition. So it's different for every company. If some companies have reported record earnings, suddenly they get the push from their shareholders to do something with that money. So it's really different with every company. So it's on a case by case.
Do you see some lights beside Anglogold Ashanti that there is interest on your project?
Well, what we're seeing right now in North America in particular is that the Australian miners have started to come over, and with the most recent acquisition of Atlantic Gold by St. Barbara's, it's showing that the Australian miners are definitely looking to add operations in areas outside of Australia, but they're still very comfortable with, which I would imagine would be English-speaking North America, whether that would be in Canada or the U.S.
Wow, that surprised me. Then normally Australia is well known for Australia and Africa.
Yes.
And Asia for sure. Also,
Yeah.
that's close to them.
But what they're looking for is because they've done very well in the markets in Australia. They've taken care of their own shareholders. They pay a good dividend, and they've been able to create value from managing their operations over the last few years. Whereas the North American miners have suffered because of during the big bull run in, say, 2010, 2011, they made a lot of acquisitions that were not accretive. So the Australians...
And also you have the cannabis that suck up a lot of money out of the market.
Before it was crypto, and now
now it's cannabis.
Yes, that is one of the reasons. But a bigger reason is that a lot of the North American miners have not performed. They just do not meet their marks. They had an overbloated balance sheet, or their cost structure wasn't very good. So it's easy to say, oh, look, it's cannabis, or oh, it's crypto.
That's a good point. That's
But
a really good point.
It really is internally, a lot of the management teams or operational teams just were not performing to what they say they were going to perform.
That's a good point. That most of them blame cannabis or crypto or everything, but don't bring up that they do not really a good job.
Yes, that's exactly right. And for the most part, I hear a lot of the stories from either juniors or producers, and what they say is like, oh, we hope that the gold price will come back, and we hope this. hope is actually a very bad strategy for investing.
Absolutely.
And it's, it just doesn't work out that way sometimes. So
Yeah, and be honest, the gold price is not so bad.
it's not bad. That's exactly
But
right. Yeah. It's
we
not
have-
great, but
it's
it's
not
not
great,
bad. It's
but
not
we
bad.
have 1,040 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yes.
So and now we are more than $200 above.
That's right.
So and I must say, a good project must work also in this environment.
That's right. And our project does work in this environment. Our PEA shows that the project that we had from last year, and we've actually expanded on our potential resource footprint, it works at $1,250 gold long term. So if you cannot show that it can work in this current environment, then you got to do something operationally where you can make it work in this type of environment. Don't tell shareholders or potential shareholders, it's like, oh, if gold went to this and we hope it can go to $1,400, then it will work.
No,
So-
that's absolutely right. It's a good point, very good point. Any other things what we should know from the company?
Well, right now we are well cashed up. We just did another financing most recently with a royalty company. We sold some non-core assets in our Alaskan royalty portfolio, and they came in and gave us $1.25 million. That's EMX royalties. They wanted to be shareholders, and they wanted to be added to the shareholder list because they see that our projects in Nevada here can add a lot of value and bring good returns to them. So that was just most recently done. So we have right now about 5.5 million Canadian in the treasury. For a junior, that's actually quite rare these days. So we have plenty of money right now to continue our drill programs at both North Bullfrog and when we look to go back to Motherlode in the summertime.
Ryan, thank you for the update. It was really a great one. I enjoyed it. This was really brings also some fresh ideas in.
Ja.
Ja, es war wirklich jetzt ein interessantes Interview, weil wir haben eigentlich sehr viel auch über den Markt gesprochen. Er hat es auch so schön beschrieben, Hoffnung auf einen höheren Goldpreis. Wenn das die Strategie eines Unternehmens ist, dann ist das relativ wenig. Und er hat es auch gut beschrieben, warum Interesse auch aus Australien jetzt kommt. Die haben nämlich ihre Hausaufgaben gemacht, die haben gute Arbeit geleistet und dadurch haben die auch einen wesentlich stärkeren Kapitalmarkt als die Nordamerikaner. Er sagte, die Nordamerikaner haben 2010, 2011 wirklich schlechte Übernahmen gemacht, schlecht gearbeitet und ihre Hausaufgaben nicht gemacht und daher ist der Markt auch hier so schlecht. Das hängt nicht nur mit Cannabis oder mit Kryptowährungen zusammen, sondern das hängt auch damit zusammen, dass sie eine schlechte Arbeit haben. Und wie gesagt, nur Hoffnung auf einen höheren Goldpreis ist schlecht, denn der Goldpreis ist zwar nicht großartig, aber bei 1250, 1280, wo wir sind, muss sich ein Projekt rechnen, sonst ist ein schlechtes Projekt, sonst hat es nichts verloren auf dem Markt. Und was hat sie aber bei der Company getan? Also sie haben die Company weiter vorangetrieben. Anglogold Ashanti hat ihren Anteil auf 19,9% erhöht, hat 2 Millionen investiert. Die haben quasi das, höher können sie nicht gehen, weil dann müssen sie nämlich eine Genehmigung kriegen, beziehungsweise möglicherweise sogar ein Übernahmeangebot stellen. Das heißt 19,9%, dann ist der Ofen aus. Dann haben sie jetzt mit der EMX Royalty, die kennen wir selber auch sehr gut, einen Deal gemacht. Die haben für 1,25 Millionen oder 1,35 Millionen Teile abgekauft und auch an Royalties gekauft von ihren Non-Core-Assets. Sie haben über 5 Millionen Cash, haben auch sehr gute Bohrergebnisse gehabt. 120 Meter mit 2 Gramm, das sind für Nevada-Verhältnisse sehr, sehr gut und ist alles open-biddable, also sehr, sehr gut. Und was Sie jetzt konzentrieren, ist auf ein zweites Projekt, das Motherlode, das Projekt haben Sie in letzter Zeit sehr stark bearbeitet, aber Sie haben noch ein zweites Projekt, das ist Bullfrog.
North Bullfrog.
North Bullfrog. Dort haben Sie früher schon Arbeiten gemacht und nachdem im Norden ein großer ist und Sie Ihre Daten haben, haben Sie gesagt, okay, jetzt schauen wir mal, was haben wir jetzt gehabt, wie schaut unsere Struktur aus und was würde das bedeuten auf North Bullfrog. So, und die wollen Sie jetzt quasi überarbeiten und sagen, okay, wir konzentrieren uns dort mit den Daten, die wir jetzt nämlich neu wissen von unserem Nachbarn und von unseren, können wir das besser einschätzen, was dort bei dem Projekt ist. Und kommen quasi dort dann mit hoffentlich sehr guten Bohrergebnissen. Das Ziel des Unternehmens ist, es nicht in Produktion zu bringen. Sie sagen, der meiste Value Creation passiert am Anfang bei der Exploration, wenn man es zu einer gewissen Phase treibt und dann das Projekt quasi verkauft, übernommen wird. das dann entwickeln, in Produktion zu bringen, das ja viele Studien, Geld und Entwicklung dauern, vor allem auch viele Jahre dauern, ist eigentlich relativ eine fade Geschichte. Das ist relativ uninteressant und dort bewegt sich der Aktienkurs relativ wenig. Dort passiert keine Value Creation für einen Aktionär und deswegen ist es natürlich wichtig, dass Sie sagen, okay, unser Ziel ist es, die Braut so schön zu machen, dass dann einer kommt und sie dementsprechend kauft. Ja, es war ein gutes Update, war ein interessantes Update, war ein spannendes Interview, war auch sehr spannend rund um die Marktgeschehen, ist wirklich ein ehrliches Update, hat mir sehr gut gefallen. Und ja, das war es von Corvus Gold Mai 2019. Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thank you.